I guess let's start with lineups. Do you have any changes for D wise?
Bobby Brink's still out. Mete's down, so Zamula comes in. Carter's in net.
All right. You talked about playing patient in those last two games in California. Is that something that you look to a team to kind of be able to replicate night in, night out? Is it just a very opponent type thing, or is that a skill that this team needs to
No,
learn?
and patience isn't being defensive or slow. We want to get on the attack, but we just can't try to grab something that isn't there. We can't get sloppy as pushing the pace too much at certain times. So it's momentums of games, understanding situational play in the games. When things are going good, not to get too high with it, and when you're struggling in some minutes of it, just stay within ourselves. So it's a very broad definition of patience, and I think that's what we want to become. I think that's a huge part of winning in this league.
This last set of lineup changes, I think, was maybe the first time you didn't just swap centers in and out. That maybe it's more of a wholesale change. Did you like what you saw from that grouping?
I wanted to put Pales in more of an offensive situation. I wanted him to play with other people. We have 18 or 19 scoring chances against LA. He's involved in 4 of them. He had a good night. I want to keep him there. I'm going to keep him with Lotz and Beezer. Bobby was there was some struggle. I think the game caught up to him a little bit as far as the speed. Part of his process is he's going to watch some games too. Want to get him back in. I'm not sure where or when. Wanted to look at Mete. I felt the same thing with Z. I thought Z struggled with some reads. And so to me, it's a good thing that these young players can watch also. So that's kind of where we're at, and we'll see where we go after tonight's game.
Louis has been a mainstay in the lineup for you guys so far. What have you seen from him as someone who signed in the offseason?
Yeah, kind of a career American leaguer. Had a cup of coffee in the league, and the thing that draws you to Louis is he's just a great competitor, and has made some really good plays. Has had some dips along the way, but seems to find himself and get his game back in order. Scored a couple of goals, is up the ice. He's not afraid. He's not overwhelmed by playing regular in the National Hockey League right now. He continues to go. We got Risto and Stalzy knocking on the door maybe here a little bit. We'll see where our lineup is as we keep on going. But the first time that he's been called up this year, he has handled himself so very well.
Were you surprised by that as someone who's kind of been in the HL so much?
Yeah, because I really didn't know too much of him as a National Hockey Leaguer. I've watched him in the camps, and everybody loves him because he's such a great competitor. And I just wasn't sure how he would be equipped as far as the tempo of the games and the toughest position to play in the game, playing defense. He's put himself on the map as a guy that we've been able to count on here to put the minutes in that he has.
And he's been playing with Igor, so someone who's young and still developing.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him in terms of maybe, I don't want to use the term mentor because I feel like we've used that a lot lately,
Yeah.
but just as someone who's kind of working with a young guy who maybe, like, as you said, kind of gets lost every now and then.
I just think he draws people to him on how you can see he's a great pro. I think with these younger guys, that's a big part of our job is teaching them what it is to be a pro. Louis hasn't played much in the league, but he's a professional hockey player and has gone through the camps and been around. I think that rubs off on people. So, I wasn't thinking about him as being in our top 6 or being 7 and 8 with us. I wasn't sure where he stood. I figured he's going to be in Lehigh. He's come in here and put himself on the map for us.
Have you seen more of that in recent years of guys change the scenery, benefiting them? I mean, we got him, we got Sean Walker, maybe even Owen Tippett when he first came here.
Yeah.
was a guy that was kind of buried in Florida and he kind of flourished.
Yeah, you never know if they're pigeonholed in an organization as you're supposed to be this type of player, or it just didn't work out. Maybe there's communication problems. Maybe there's personality conflict with the coach or whatever it may be. There's so many different things that can happen. I think when a player does get moved to another team, he sees it as a fresh slate, and so does the new team that brought him in. So things can happen, and things can go the other way too. So we're for, Tip comes in and takes off, and Louis done this here, and I'm not sure what else you were talking about, but yeah, things can change pretty quickly in this league.
Is it a systems thing too sometimes, maybe?
It can be, yeah. I don't think it is with these guys. I think it's, and listen, when they get moved, it's another year of maturity. You just never know when these guys mature. So that's why you got to be really, especially at the defense position, you never can give up on defense. You just never know when they're going to mature. So we'll see where it goes.